a very interesting day. Today, I am actually here with some audience from Twitch and YouTube. What I'm trying to say is I'm live streaming while I'm reacting to Reddit stories. But if you're watching this YouTube video and you weren't here for the live, go ahead and turn the notifications on for this Thrasher Plus YouTube channel, and also follow me on Twitch if you want to. Sometimes I'll be over there, sometimes I'll be over here, sometimes I will be no. Anyway, here we go. Let's begin. AITAH for not bringing anything to my friend's potluck after she told me not to. One of my close friends hosted a dinner at her place last weekend. She called it a potluck and sent a group text saying we should each bring a little something. Drinks, snacks, whatever. It wasn't anything fancy, just casual. I asked her what I should bring and mentioned I'd be coming straight from work and might be a little rushed. She replied that I don't need to worry about it. She had plenty of food and just wanted me to come. So I didn't bring anything. I just showed up. I said hi to everyone. And honestly, this night was going fine. People brought stuff, a salad, some cupcakes. Weird combination right there. I was planning to just help clean up or do dishes since I didn't bring anything and figured she meant what she said. But later on, while people were complimenting the food, she made this offhand comment like, well, not everyone contributed, but we're still glad she showed up. Interesting. So you're targeting somebody, even though you made it a point that it's okay, don't bring anything. Everyone laughed at me, and it didn't seem super serious, but I felt my face get hot. I didn't know how to respond. Anybody else out there like that? I'm not like that. I used to be like this, but when I used to feel really mad at something or emotional about something, I would my face would just flush, you know? There are people out there like that just can't lie, and their emotions are just like boom, right on the face, you know? I trust those people. I do. I really trust them. Anybody have really pale friends that just as soon as they're uncomfortable, boom, boom, their whole body is red, dude. They turn into, what's red? A hot tamale. I stayed polite and tried not to act weird about it, but I felt uncomfortable the rest of the night. On the way home, I kept thinking about it. I get that maybe she was a little bit annoyed, but she literally told me not to bring anything, and now I feel like she put me on blast in front of people for something I didn't even do wrong. I haven't said anything to her yet because it feels small and I don't want to be dramatic, but I also can't shake the feeling that it wasn't fair. AITAH. There are some friends out there who will throw you under the bus for some little things, some small things here and there. This was a situation where it just felt kind of this offhanded comment right here, this comment of, well, not everyone contributed, but we're still glad she showed up. I think that was punching down. It was a cheap joke at her friend's expense for her to feel more popular. But I don't think she meant it. I don't think she meant it as a real jab, or maybe she did. I don't know. I think it was more so a cheap offering for her to get a cheap laugh. It's a risk. You're saying something, you're throwing a friend under the bus for a joke, and that doesn't make you a very good friend. What it tells me is that you're insecure about your ability to make people laugh, and so you have to put others down for you to feel important. Everybody just wants to feel special and important, man. I'm telling you, everybody in this life, they just for a moment want to feel significant, special, important. Does it make it right? No, it doesn't make it right. This person is throwing her friend under the bus. Doesn't make that right at all. I don't think so. If I were this person, would I stew on it all night? Honestly, probably. But that's just how I am. I feel like this person took it really personally because they were going there as they were already self-conscious about not bringing anything, and now they're here. NTA. Everybody's saying NTA. I agree. Now, do we think that the other person was being an asshole with that one comment? But the thing is, she only made that one joke that one time, and people laughed. Yes, people think that they're being a butthole. Somebody says, yeah, but it might not have been entirely on purpose. Yes, she singled her friend out about it. If she had said, I'm glad everyone showed up, it would have been fine. So some of you feel like, yeah, the friend was being an asshole. Is this something you would unfriend your friend over? I don't think so. I think it's worth talking about. Be like, hey, you kind of singled me out there. That felt weird. Yeah, people are asking, if it was a lighthearted joke. Okay, so it's not irredeemable. That's what people in chat are saying. You would talk about it. You try to have a polite conversation. If it's repeated behavior, absolutely. I think that's true. I think this is one of those things where you would have to fire off a warning shot where you'd be like, hey, don't single me. You don't invite me somewhere and make me feel a fool. Don't make me feel a fool in front of our friends. You goof. That's not a cool way to hang. Let's see what people in the comments say. Top comment says, yeah, NTA, that was quite rude of the hostess. If this is something you value, I'd recommend bringing it up casually. Ask if perhaps there was a misunderstanding because you thought she said to come anyway. From your description, it doesn't sound like a mistake. Chances are they will get defensive, but at least you attempted to clear the air. If you take a couple of days and it doesn't bother you as much, you can decide to not bring it up to the hostess. The good thing is, you now have more information. You now know that you can't trust them to be honest in situations like that. In my opinion, it is unreasonable to expect people to read your mind when you tell them the opposite of what you really want, like requesting no gifts for a birthday, then pouting. You know what? There is a thing where it's like, oh, would you like seconds? You want another thing to eat? And then the other person's like, oh, no, I'm fine. I don't really need seconds. And they go, okay. And then you put the food away. And it's like, no, you're supposed to keep fighting for me. You're supposed to keep offering me this thing. Yep, that's what I've been thinking. She did not tell me to bring anything and then made me look bad. It's hard to know if there's a misunderstanding or she just changed her mind and didn't say anything. I might not confront her directly, but I definitely clocked the way she handled it. That's not good stuff, man. You make somebody feel safe. You're swaddling your friend in your arms. You're making them feel safe and sweet. It's like, hey, you don't have to bring anything to Potluck. Oh, you thought you had to bring mac and cheese? No. Come to my Potluck. Come to my little. Surprise microphone! NTA. However, I feel like your text to her may have been a bit manipulative. Your text to her? Wait, hold on. Wait. I asked her what I should bring and mentioned I'd be coming straight from work and might be a little rushed. Do we think that this is manipulative? I don't know. I don't think it's manipulative. I think she's just basically saying, I would love to come, but I don't have time for that. The whole, I'll be rushed, I'm coming from work was really irrelevant and wouldn't have stopped you buying a bottle of wine, leaving it in the car, and then contributing to the potluck. It could have easily come across as you trying to get out of contributing. Well, I think it was sort of like a, hey, if I'm coming at all, I can't bring anything. I think that's the implication. That's the idea, right? It would have been so simple to say nothing and just bring something non-perishable. In the future, just do this. It may be worth also looking over your messages to see if they could be interpreted as you trying to get out of contributing. In saying all that, if she told you not to bring anything, then she can't turn around and have an issue with it. Hence, NTA. Do we think Op was being a little manipulative? Do we feel that way? Do we think that this person was being like, hey, I could come, but oh, it's such a trek from my job. Oh, it's such a far distance away. I don't know if I could do it and bring something. Isn't my presence present enough? Yeah, you'd have to see more of the text messages. I think so too. This person says, everyone sucks here, in my opinion. Common sense is important. What was she supposed to say? If you can't bring anything, don't come. You don't show up empty-handed. You know what? I don't go to a lot of potlucks, dude. I usually host like parties at my house. The Oscars and the Emmys, the Grammys, stuff like that. I like to host things and I'll, get pizza and stuff like that. But I don't go to a lot of potlucks. So I mean, I guess the idea is, bring a wine, bring a case of beer or something, bring something, right? You don't show up empty-handed. You would have been a couple minutes late and felt a lot better about eating what everyone else brought. If it were an expensive dinner everyone paid for and you ate free, you would feel differently. But I think you would have been spared the embarrassment if she had said just to not come, or if she didn't make that comment in front of everyone. Definitely went out of her way to humiliate you, but it was either do it in front of you or talk behind your back. Both assholes, but I don't think you had any actual bad intentions. Just need some lessons on social norms, maybe. People think that everyone sucks here is the bad take. Social norms, my ass. Everybody in my chat is pretty much saying, not the asshole at all. Don't worry about any of that. The NTA. I think it's safe to say, like, look, and also if you are rushing, if you're coming from work or whatever, and it was a last minute potluck, I don't know how in advance the planning was. When was the group text sent? Also, do you have a fridge at your job that you can store stuff in? Probably not. There's a lot of things at play. There's a lot of things we don't know about. She might work for the government. She might work in the NSA. She might be supervising you if you were back home while you poop. And if she's doing that, then there's no way she can have time to watch you poop and bring a case of Red Bull to the potluck. Somebody says, hey, Daniel, I'm fishing and binging. Are you fishing literally right now? Holy God. All right, that's enough of that. Decision made. NTA from me and my chat. Next, AITAH for kicking my house guests out 11 hours before their flight is scheduled to leave. Whoa, let's unpack that right now. I literally had house guests here over yesterday. They left this morning for a flight. I cannot imagine 11 hours before their flight. They left this morning at 7. So that would be yesterday at 8 p.m. I'd be like, I don't care where you go. Get the hell out. Get out of my house. That's wild. So they must have done something extremely disrespectful. Let's see. My friend and his wife have made plans to visit us this summer for a weekend stay. The flight is 2 hours, so not a really long journey for them. We have our home professionally cleaned regularly and go all in to be good hosts to our guests. However, with any good thing, Some people try to take advantage. I love this storytelling. Doesn't this feel like a Christopher Nolan movie? Doesn't this feel like a You're probably wondering how I got here, aren't you? You know, one of those moments. I usually will take an extra day from work after guests leave to get rest or even tidy up a bit in the house. It's just a peaceful time for me to return to the normalcy of our household after being in host mode. I literally just did this for the past 2 days. Host mode is like, oh God, do I have enough blankets? Do I have enough pillows? You know, you're thinking in a different, you have to think 360. You can't really enjoy the activities at home because you're always like, is the toilet seat up? If the toilet seat's up, then the cats will drink out of the toilet, you know? So I gotta pleasantly remind them to like put the toilet seats down. Oh, and then the litter box, I gotta sweep around the litter box to make sure it doesn't track anywhere. I don't want them to think I have a dirty house. Like, a lot of this has to do with cats for me. It's fun. I'm glad to have people over. I'm glad to like, hey, look at my kitchen. Isn't that nice? Like I got a new fridge or whatever, you know, people think that stuff. But yeah, hosting is a big mental thing. And that's okay. It's just a peaceful time for me to return to the normalcy of our household after being in host mode. Before my friend booked his flight, my husband let it slip that I will not be working the Monday after my friends stay with us. Next thing I know, my friend tells me that they will be flying out on a red eye the Monday I took off for rest. This means they will arrive early Friday morning
and leave late Monday night.
To that, I responded that I will be taking them to the airport as early as 8 a.m. Monday morning so I can have my day of rest like I planned. Interesting. This is interesting. Okay, so in anticipation for you to have a restful day, a day of recovery after hosting, you took a day off of work. And then your friends were like, oh no, we're leaving that night so we can spend, you know, the Monday together. And now you're thinking, oh God, I need my day of rest. That's interesting. I get it. I get being an introvert. I am that in a lot of ways. So well, did the friends know? Let's see. My friend tells me that he doesn't understand why they can't just hang out at our place or have us show them around town more on that Monday since they have a late flight. Okay, wait, there it is. That's it right there. There it is. That's when your friend goes, hey, you took this day off work. Why don't you take me downtown? Why don't you show me the nice sushi place? Why don't you take me to the club? Show me where you get coffee. This is where it's weird. Did you say to them that you need a whole day to recover before going back to work? This is the whole key to this whole treasure chest of conversation. Key to the conversation. Key to the conversation. Communicate with your friends now. Let them know you gotta have a day to rest. It's the key to the conversation. My friend tells me he doesn't understand why they can't just hang out at our place and have us show them around town more on that Monday since they have a late flight. Oh God, just reading that makes me so mad. So irritating. Oh my gosh, you want me to freaking take my day of rest? My Sabbath? If you will, the seventh day? And you want me to just freaking, hello? I explained to them that the day off is for me to rest, not to continue to be their host. Question, big question. Was this conversation before this? Before they flew out, or was it during? That's what I want to know. I told them that they are more than welcome to leave their luggage here if they want to go explore on their own. That's not bad. Nice little hotel, you know what I'm saying? But we will not be hosting them or playing tour guide after Monday morning. He goes on to admit that it was cheaper for him to book the flight later on Monday and that it's not a big deal for him and his wife to just hang out at my house all day until it's time for them to fly out. Keep in mind that I will have to take them to the airport or pay for their rideshare because he refuses to pay. I'm sorry. Because he refuses to pay, dude? What? I will also have to feed them. I told them that they are welcome to visit and stay with us, but staying at our house all day Monday is not an option. Okay, so this tells me that this is a before conversation. This tells me that they didn't even fly out yet. So this is further away. These people are in another, you know, they're in another town. They're about to fly over, and you're having this preliminary conversation. None of this has happened yet. I told them that they are welcome to visit and stay with us, but staying at our house all day Monday is not an option, and he needs to make other arrangements. He's now accusing me of being a horrible friend, and his wife says we're assholes. Your thoughts? So this is all before they fly out. So you're not really kicking them out 11 hours before they're scheduled to leave. You haven't kicked them out. It's not like they were in your house and you kicked them out. You're just telling them they're not allowed to be there all day. So no, you're not the asshole at all. And also you're being over-exaggerative. You're being histrionic. This is not real. This is hyperbole. You're not actually kicking them out 11 hours before their flight is scheduled to leave. You're not like, you didn't do that. You didn't go, bye-bye. You're telling them that they're going to have to explore or something. They have to be out of the house. I think we all think NTA. Keep in mind that I will have to take them to the airport or pay for rideshare because he refuses to pay. I will also have to feed them. No, you don't. You don't have to do any of that. And if you choose to, I think it would be a mistake. Simply tell them you are offering a ride at 8 a.m. and they can take it or leave it. If they don't accept the ride, you will be locking them out of your house promptly at 8 a.m. They will not be welcomed back in at any point for any reason, and you will not be providing transportation past that time. They can decide if they want to pay for their own ride or just remain stranded in a city where they have no place to stay. Shouldn't change your plans at all either way. And then edit, for everyone responding saying this is so rude and they wouldn't be my friends anymore after, that's kind of the point. My friends don't blatantly insult me and disrespect my time, effort, and money. If they did, I wouldn't consider them friends. I wouldn't want them in my home. So you can stop responding that I'm a horrible person with no friends. I'm happy with my friends because they never do this. I think that's a big deal. I think it's a matter of you choose your friends, right? I think that's a fair thought. All of it is about having the key to the conversation, baby. Oh, yeah. NTA, he refuses to pay for rideshare. Oh, no. Not only would I stick to my boundaries, I would also tell them you have fed them for the weekend and hosted them. They can figure out their own way to the airport. Yeah, people will take advantage of you a little bit. Setting boundaries is something that people aren't good at in general. That is like the biggest theme to so many forms of therapy, period. So much therapy is about how do you set boundaries effectively? How do you respect your boundaries? You don't let people walk all over you. You respect other people's boundaries that they're setting for themselves. You try not to walk all over them. So much of therapy, so much of all this stuff is just like boundaries, boundary setting, respecting boundaries, respecting yourself, respecting others, respecting their time, their jobs, their money, their energy, and respecting your own. All right, people want to go to the next one. Here we go. AITAH, if my boyfriend made a meal and asked me how it was, and I said, fine. Let's chew on that for a second. Your boyfriend made a meal. How is it? Fine. It depends. Was he actually asking for feedback? Is he in culinary school? Are you a chef? I don't know. Let's see. So my boyfriend made chicken breast with some white rice, a salad with garlic, and we had some pickles and beetroot on the side from jars. And we sit down and he says, how was it? I said, fine. There's nothing special. Everything tastes as it should. What? It's fine. Nothing special. Everything tastes as it should. What, dude? Just say fine. Why you gotta do all that? That's a little below the belt. And he got upset and said he added extra garlic in the lettuce and soy sauce in the breast. We both said we couldn't taste that. And I said I'm not used to making comments about food like he is and his family. When we eat with his mother, everyone has to say something along the lines of, how delicious, this is so tasty, yum, at every meal. And in my family, we probably find that behavior a bit fake. We just sit down and talk about other things, and if there was something new in the food, then that would be a normal question to ask how it was. So he got really upset because I should have just said it's great or it's good instead of a normal and not very enthusiastic, it's fine, everything tastes as it should. And he proceeded to pick his plate up and left to eat in the office. I don't feel like partaking in a family tradition I don't feel is natural. I feel like I'm forced to say something that I don't care about or believe in. It's chicken breast and white rice. I mean, AITA for not making a bigger deal out of a simple meal. Is he overreacting, or should I just be fake and obliged and say it's really tasty every single effing meal? Okay, I have a thought. My thought is that this person means what they say. Maybe they're from a family that's like, in the United States, this like small talk, oh, yum, how are you? Oh, my day was good. How was your day? I know, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of people from, different countries, places in Europe where, small talk and stuff is disingenuous. It reads fake. It reads false. And you don't have those conversations with your loved ones like that. So, I don't know. This is what I'm like. I will do anything I can to justify the other person's behavior. Not justify, but I'll do anything I can to try to understand the other person's behavior. Like if they really feel strongly about something, I'm going to try to see why. And in this circumstance, yeah, it's a bit fake, but was the guy excited? Does he not cook often? You can also just say, it's good. Ender Cobra says, you don't have to praise the food if it isn't worthy of praise, but you could at least praise his effort to make the food. But she clearly doesn't get how words of affirmation probably mean a lot to this guy. She did hurt his feelings, but not on purpose. She just doesn't completely get what makes him feel loved. I think you're right. Somebody says fine is a fine answer, but nothing special is kind of rude. I think that's good. I think just saying, yeah, it's good. Leave it there. You don't have to embellish. You don't have to do that. Yeah, it's good. But even then, he'd probably go, is it good? Do you not like it? This is interesting though. Is he overreacting, or should I just be fake and oblige and say it's really tasty every single effing meal? See, this final sentence here is really manipulative in its presentation. I will say that. You're not doing a lot to try to understand the other person's side. It's clear to me and everybody here that this poster has no interest in changing their behavior. They have no interest in trying to understand why her boyfriend feels that way. Somebody says, I feel like Op already checked out mentally of the relationship. So let's find out what people say. I think I read the poll from earlier. Is it correct that people in here were like, everybody sucks here instead of a-hole? NTA, both suck, yeah. You know, if he presented that he was really excited about it and, hey, I don't cook often, I'm excited to try that. Is it okay? Yeah, it's good. End of story. That's all it could have been. But she said, it's fine. Nothing special. Hearing nothing special for your partner when I don't know. She might have a little something going on. Let's see what the comments say. They're probably going to roast this person. I'm not going to lie. Okay, let's break this down differently. I will be making some assumptions because there isn't a ton of context. Boyfriend goes out of his way and makes a nice dinner. Acts excited about doing something nice. Girlfriend acts like not only is it not special, but that it isn't very good. Boyfriend feels embarrassed and deflated. Acts hurt. Girlfriend thinks it is dumb to treat people nicely when they do something nice. I guess that's true. It's, are you treating him with respect? Are you treating him nicely? It's not about the food. It's about the effort. That's what it is. I think that's her lack of distinction. She hears, how is the food? What she should hear is, hey, I did something nice and you're not acknowledging it. How do you feel? Is this okay? She goes, food okay. Food fine. You know? It's a little odd. Either this isn't a match that you don't understand each other at all, or you need to be nicer, or both. You're the asshole. If my husband makes a meal, it's either new or from scratch. I tell him thank you and that it's really good. Unless it isn't good, I'll be honest, but that's really rare. It's the least you can do for someone who spent time trying to make a nice meal. There is somebody who made a really healthy noodle dish that I dated, and it was like you took zucchini and you ran it through like a zucchini noodle. You know what I'm talking about? Like a healthy kind of spiraler kind of a thing. Because of that noodle dish, it was not very good. I'm not gonna lie. And it wasn't good because in the recipe, you're supposed to add like a lot of Parmesan and butter and fat, some kind of fat, right? To make it kind of bind together or feel a different way, to add a sense of like umami to it. And there was lemon. Lemon was also a part of the recipe. And so what I tasted was fresh zucchini noodles with a lot of lemon and salt. And I didn't say nothing. But what did happen? She looked at me and she went, this tastes weird. And I went, I wasn't going to say anything. And also, let me say this. I cooked for her too. Somebody says, you could have just said it. It tastes fine after she said that. I was eating it still. I was still eating it. I finished it. I think there was a part of me that was like, it wasn't bad. I don't think I did poorly at this. Maybe I did. I don't know. But she didn't take that negatively also. She just wanted confirmation that it was weird. And I feel that. But what I'm saying is, in that moment, she was kind of asking, we were talking, we were like, yeah, maybe next time we'll do this. It was a, let's work on this together kind of a thing. We were being good to each other. You know what I'm saying? But that was fine. That was a productive conversation. In this situation, it really does feel like this person, it was very one-sided. The guy was super excited about it, and it didn't taste bad. That's the difference. He and his family are used to words of affirmation as ways to show love. You don't have to use flowery language, but you could have said, it's good, babe. Thanks for making dinner. Yeah, that's it. The thank you was missing. Thanks for making dinner. It's good, babe. Thanks for making dinner. It's that easy. What you said was a deliberate snub, and that's why you are the... This puzzlehead... Oh, wait. Oh, I thought they were using this as an insult. This puzzle-headed, you figured this one out and put it together perfectly. Words of affirmation can make or break a relationship. It may not seem like a big deal or fake to compliment or just use your words to show that you appreciated the effort, but it is a huge deal to your boyfriend. Yo, that is a big thing. The biggest thing I learned going from a young buck to a grown-up is if something is important to someone else, respect that. You don't have to believe it for yourself. It doesn't have to make sense to you. In a lot of ways, it's not going to make sense to you. But if something is important to someone else, believe that. It doesn't matter if it's important to you. It doesn't matter if you agree. You probably don't agree. And that's okay. You can internally go, I don't agree. Sometimes it's the little things you do and say every day that mean the most. I put say in bold letters because it sounds like he grew up in a family that shows love by saying your feelings and appreciation out loud. You hurt your boyfriend's feelings. You didn't take the opportunity to build him up. apologize. Tell him how much you appreciate the effort and time that your boyfriend takes to make you a meal, even when it's plain white rice and chicken. And by the way, y'all, I love me some plain white rice and chicken. I love me some rice and chicken. A little side of broccoli, dude. A little side of frozen broccoli you can get for $3.99. Dude, I love well-made broccoli. Ah! Oh! 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 Broccoli is in my spirit tonight. Broccoli time! Broccoli time! This time of broccoli, put it in my mouth. Broccoli, put it in my mouth. Tell him how much you appreciate the effort and time that your boyfriend takes to make you a meal, even when it's plain white rice and chicken. I'm going to go a little further and say that you need to express your love for him in the way that he understands and recognizes. Words don't cost anything, but they can be priceless. Don't fail to tell him you love him every day. One more time. If you care about somebody, you love them, believe that they perceive the world the way that they tell you they perceive the world. That's all. When somebody tells you something is important to them, believe them. All right, moving on. AITAH for not letting my coworker stay at my place even though I have the space. Whoa, that's triggering. That's immediately triggering for me. Yikes. Yikeroni and cheese. That's what I'm going to call that. I hate that so much. You have an extra bedroom. Why can't I stay? Maybe I don't want you to be the guest in my house so I can blow up this bathroom in peace. I'm so loud, it sounds like a sousaphone in the toilet. If anybody here lives in a 2-story house and you have a bathroom on both stories, I can guarantee there's been a moment where you're sitting there with your bubble guts and you're like, I gotta go to another floor. I gotta go to another floor of the house because if I'm on this floor, everybody's gonna know what's going on. Has that ever happened? It has happened to me. You know why? Because it was AITAH for not letting my coworker stay at my place even though I have the space. So I, 23 female, live alone in a small 2-bedroom house. One room is mine. The other one is basically my everything room. It is my office, my closet, my storage. Sometimes I just lay on the floor in there and stare at the ceiling when life sucks. LOL. Okay, 2 rooms. One room is the bedroom. The other room is their everything room. I get it. I understand. Depression room, Sophie says in the chat. Absolutely. It is not a guest room. I've lived with horrible roommates before, so I worked really hard to be able to afford my own place, and I love having my space. It is literally my safe little bubble. Anyways, one of my coworkers, 25 female, got into a huge fight with her roommates and they kicked her out. She was venting at work and I felt bad and was like, that sucks, oh my God, and even sent her a few places to look at. I was trying to be helpful without inviting chaos into my life, you know? Yes, I do know. Has this person ever been to your house? Somebody says if they kicked her out. Oh, that's a good point. Why did they kick her out? Got into a huge fight with her roommates, they kicked her out. Why? What happened? Why did she lose that battle? Nah, that's victim blaming. Let's see. Somebody says I'd let them stay 1 or 2 nights but no longer. I don't know, maybe, because there's a lot of situations where, you know, you keep somebody in there for a short little second and then they take advantage. That's a thing. Later that night, she texts me saying, hey, I was thinking maybe I could just crash with you for a few weeks since you live alone and have the space. I literally got that sinking feeling in my chest. Nope. No. I'm not even close to her. We're cool at work, but we've never even hung out outside of lunch breaks and complaining about our boss. She doesn't know anything about me, and I don't know her like that. Why would she live in my house? So I replied super politely like, I totally get that you're going through it, but I really value my space and I'm just not in a place where I can have someone stay with me. Like, I was nice, didn't ghost her, didn't ignore her, just said no. I will point something out. I really value my space. Here's how I interpret that sentence. I really value my space. If I were receiving that as a crazy person, if I were in a crazy state of mind, I would think, oh, so you think that if you let me in there, then I'm devaluing your space? That is a linguistic sword fight from a crazy person. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, my brain would go, oh, well, that if you really value your space, are you suggesting that I would not value your space? What happened? She gave too much information. She gave too much. Aubrey Danielle says no is a full sentence. That's true. Completely true. That's something you got to figure out as time goes on, you know? Next day, she's acting really weird. Then another coworker tells me she said I let her be homeless when I have an entire room to myself. Like, girl, first of all, she's staying at her boyfriend's place. So she's not homeless. She's staying at her boyfriend's place. That's awful. But I know she's getting on his nerves. I'm just going to say it. She's getting on his nerves. I bet. Okay. I let her be homeless when I have an entire room to myself. Like, girl, first of all, she is staying at her boyfriend's place. Second of all, I pay to live alone. That is the whole point. I don't want to feel tense or uncomfortable in my own space. I don't want to tiptoe around a person I barely know. That is a big deal. They're not friends. She barely knows her. They're a coworker. They're adjacent kind of coworkers. How does your coworker know that you have a second room? That's what I want to know. If you're not close, how does she know you have a second room? And I definitely don't want to deal with just a few weeks turning into I'm looking but nothing's coming through yet for 2 months. That is real. The transition from just a few weeks into a couple of months, that's a real thing, baby. You know, and good for her. She's only 23 and she figured that out. Now people at work are acting like I'm the bad guy. Sorry for not letting a coworker move into my apartment because she had a bad fight. I don't know. I feel bad, but like also no. AITA. The fact that she's turning the space against you. She's turning the working space against you. Yeah, you got to go to HR, dude. This is not your responsibility. It's not. It's just not. You know, the fact that you have your own space and she can't live with you and that's now a work problem. You can't claim somebody else's space. That's freaking weird, dude. Update. She went to jail, LOL. Don't know what happened, but I feel horrible to say I laughed. Well, solves that issue. Edit, because I have to highlight my favorite comment. Go up to the people that had something to say and tell them they are horrible for not bailing her out. Yes! Just be like, oh, God, oh, and you didn't do anything either? That's weird, huh? Isn't that weird how you didn't do anything also? You're judging me? You're looking at me? What are you doing? Oh, that's so weird. What is that, dude? We're going to continue. We're going to read on. We're going to see the comments here. Not the asshole. I don't understand why a coworker would feel entitled to your home. That is truly bizarre. Her life is not your responsibility. I mean, I could maybe get it if you were super close and good long-term friends with a deep connection, but a casual coworker? A casual freaking coworky dude? Crashing, not even on my couch, in my safe room? Literally just a casual coworker. I don't get it. NTA, you don't need to find out firsthand why her roommates and boyfriend don't want to live with her either. That's the thing. You're getting clues. You're getting clues from everybody. You are getting clues from everybody that this person is difficult to live with and you're not trying to jump on that grenade yourself, dude. What? So no, not the butthole. I think if you have a space for yourself, you know, I have an extra room, but it stresses me out when I have people stay with me. It does. It's not bad. I like hosting sometimes and I like people, you know, spending the night sometimes, but I got to be mentally prepped for it, dude, because I got ADHD real bad and I have a lot of responsibilities. I have a team that relies on me. I'm procrastinating kind of right now, actually. No, I'm working right now, but it's good. Somebody says it's broccoli time. Broccoli time. It's broccoli time. Yeah, I got ADHD real bad. And so if I have somebody staying with me, yeah, it kind of affects my, it can affect me, you know, it can escape, my plans can escape me. You know, stuff can happen. And this is a situation where, you know, my extra room is not your free room. I'm going to keep reading. Here we go. I'm definitely understanding it now, seeing the reaction after saying no. I am a homebody and really enjoy my personal space, given the fact I work 2 jobs and my home is my only carefree space. NTA, for the coworkers saying you're letting the girl be homeless, etc., etc., do you see them offering a place for her to crash? Exactly. It's only because I work my tail off with 2 jobs to have extra space. Would feel pointless if I just handed that free space anyway. You did this for you. You made yourself a beautiful space for you to relax and have fun and chill out and decompress after a long day at work. And also, we don't know what she does for work. She could work at a hospital. She could be high stress. Folks, I'm going to summarize it with this. NTA, and I think her reaction demonstrates you dodged a bullet here. I definitely agree. Yeah, you dodged a bullet. Sometimes there will be clues about somebody's behavior. They can tell you something, and you got to build context around that and figure out, who is this person really? Would you ever read your viewers' AITA posts? Yeah, I would. Hey, thanks for your content. And sometimes really eye-opening and makes me question some of my views towards different topics, which helps build more of a character I'm trying to become. Hey, thank you! But also take everything I say with a grain of salt because I am nuts. If you made it this far, I want you to know 2 things. 1, if other people tell you something is important to them, then respect that. Okay? And second of all, eat your greens because it's broccoli time! Outro, baby! It's an outro. It's an outro. Look at my chat.